Hey Raiders Nation, buckle up because we need to talk about what just went down on the field. That last game against the Chargers, wow. Just wow. It wasn't just a loss. It was one of those games where you sit back after the final whistle and think, how did we even get here? We're not talking about a bad day at the office or a few missed plays here and there. This was a performance where opportunities slipped through our fingers over and over again. It's like we had the ball, had a chance to make history, and somehow managed to throw it all away. Not just once, but multiple times. And you know what's even more frustrating? This wasn't against just any team. This was a Chargers team that's playoff caliber, coached by one of the smartest minds in the league, a team that knows exactly how to exploit mistakes. And we gave them those mistakes on a silver platter. Watching that game live at Allegiant Stadium, the energy from Raider Nation was electric. People were on their feet, cheering, screaming, hoping for the moment where the team would finally break through. But instead, every misstep, every misread, every interception felt like a punch straight to the gut. I'm not mad in that angry, shouting at the TV kind of way, although sure, a little bit of that was there. No, it was more of a deep, sinking disappointment because I expected more. I expected grit. I expected determination. I expected a team that could rise to the challenge and take advantage of the momentum. And we didn't see that. Let's start with the quarterback situation because, let's be honest, this is where most of the spotlight is going to be. Geno Smith, man, what a roller coaster. Week 1, he looked solid. He stretched the field, connected on some deep throws, and showed flashes of what this team can be when the offense clicks. But this game? 0 completions over 20 yards. 3 interceptions on throws beyond 10 yards. He was running for his life out there. The Chargers defense knew exactly what they were doing, taking away the deep ball and forcing the Raiders to play small ball when this team had been built for explosive plays. And while some of you are ready to label him as trash after one tough game, that's an overreaction if I've ever seen one. Geno had a great opening week, and he's shown he can make the throws and lead this team. But without protection, without a balanced offense, any quarterback is going to struggle, and he was set up to struggle. Now, don't get it twisted. This isn't just on Geno. The coaching staff, the play calling, the offensive line's performance, it all plays a part. But the numbers from this game are tough to ignore. The Raiders lost, plain and simple, because the offense couldn't get going. We try to push the ball downfield. We try to make plays in high-pressure situations, and the execution just wasn't there. Yet even with all the mistakes, I still believe in Geno. I believe in his talent, in his ability to bounce back, and the potential this team has with him under center. Week 3 against the Commanders is going to be telling. That's going to be a real test of character, not just for Geno, but for the offense as a whole. Speaking of the offense, let's talk about the running game. Ashton Gentry is the running back this team invested a top pick in, and yet it feels like the Raiders aren't using him to his full potential. 11 carries for 43 yards isn't exactly what you hope for from a number 6 overall pick. He had the chance to build momentum to establish the run, and the plays were inconsistent at best. Some sequences were promising. He hits the hole, gains 6, then 10 yards, but then he's pulled out or limited in subsequent snaps. Momentum is everything for a running back, and when a team drafts a player at that level, the expectation is to trust him, to let him flourish. But right now, it feels like that trust isn't fully there. The offensive line struggled, the blocking wasn't consistent, and Gentry didn't get enough opportunities to impact the game as he should. And that brings us to the line itself. The offensive line was a story in itself during this matchup. Predictable schemes, poor protection, missed assignments. It all compounded the struggles of both the quarterback and the running game. Geno had defenders in his face on almost every throw, and Gentry was navigating clogged lanes. The line needs time to gel, sure, but some of the mistakes are avoidable. The Raiders need to make adjustments, and they need to start trusting the players they've invested in. If Gentry can't find running lanes because the line isn't opening them consistently, then all the play calling in the world won't fix that. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not all doom and gloom. There were positives to take away from this game, and it's important to recognize them. The defense kept the team in the game longer than expected. Max Crosby made some big plays. The secondary had moments of brilliance, but the offense? It left a lot to be desired, and that's where the frustration comes from. It's that sense that with the right adjustments, with better execution, this team has everything it needs to compete at a high level. But when the plays don't come together, when turnovers pile up, when the game slips through your hands, well, that's the hard pill Raider Nation has to swallow. Looking ahead, the key is balance. Geno needs protection. Gentry needs opportunities. The line needs cohesion. The coaching staff needs to make adjustments and trust the players they drafted and developed. The Chargers game showed what happens when all of these pieces don't align. It's a reminder that in the NFL, talent alone isn't enough. Execution, strategy, and trust in your personnel are just as important. Raider Nation showed up. Allegiant Stadium was rocking, and the passion is real. That's something this team can always lean on, and it's a foundation to build on, even after a heartbreaking loss. If there's a silver lining, it's that this is just the early season. There's time to correct course, time to make adjustments, and time for players like Geno Smith and Ashton Gentry to prove what they can do when everything clicks. But the window is small, and every game counts. Raider Nation deserves better, and the team needs to step up. This isn't about excuses. It's about accountability and potential. Week 3 is coming, and it's going to be the real measuring stick for this team. Will they bounce back, show resilience, and start stringing together the kind of football we know they can play? Or will we see more of the same struggles that cost us dearly against the Chargers? The answers are coming, and every Raider fan better be paying attention because this is just the beginning of a very telling season. All right, Raider Nation, now let's dive even deeper into what we saw out there on the field and what it all means moving forward. If the first half of the season is any indication, this team is a walking paradox. There's talent everywhere, but execution, consistency, and trust in the right personnel are the things that are holding this squad back. Take the quarterback situation, for example. Geno Smith has the arm, the vision, and the intelligence to lead this team, but what he doesn't have is the consistent protection and offensive balance that allows him to thrive. You can't blame him entirely for a night like the one we just saw. The Chargers came prepared. They knew what Geno does best, and they took it away. You saw him scrambling. You saw him forcing throws. You saw that desperation that no quarterback wants to feel. But it's not the end of the story. Geno has shown he can be effective. He just needs the right pieces around him to perform at his level. Then there's Ashton Gentry. This is a player that the Raiders invested a lot in, a number 6 overall pick for a reason. He's explosive, he's physical, he's got vision, but the team isn't fully letting him do what he does best. 11 carries for 43 yards doesn't cut it for a back of his caliber. And it's not just the number of touches, it's how they're using him. Momentum is everything in the NFL. When a running back gets in a groove, every play can turn into a huge gain. And when you constantly pull him off or run plays that limit him, that momentum disappears. Gentry had a chance to make plays that could have changed the tone of the game, and it was squandered. The balance between run and pass has to be there. If the Raiders continue to lean so heavily on deep passes without establishing a credible ground game, defenses will continue to dictate the terms and the offense will struggle. The offensive line is another story entirely. There were moments in that game where you saw the line falter under pressure, leaving Geno scrambling and Gentry searching for lanes that weren't there. And it wasn't just a one-off. This is a recurring issue. Chemistry takes time, sure, but you also can't ignore the lack of physicality and consistency at key positions. When you draft a running back like Gentry, you need to make sure the line is giving him the lanes to succeed. Otherwise, you're not just limiting him, you're limiting the offense. There were plays where defenders crashed the line so quickly that Gentry had to slow down, reset, or cut in a direction that wasn't optimal. That kills rhythm. That kills momentum. And it's maddening because the talent is there. The execution is what's missing. And then you add the mental mistakes, the misreads, the miscommunications, and it becomes clear why the game slipped away. Geno tried to stretch the field, try to make plays happen, and in doing so, forced throws into tight windows that led to interceptions. Some of it is coaching, Some of it is in-game adjustments that didn't happen fast enough, and some of it is just the brutal reality of facing a team as prepared and disciplined as the Chargers. Yet, in spite of all that, you can't take away the glimpses of what this offense can be. When Geno is protected, when the line holds, and when Gentry has room to run, there's a chance for explosive plays. That's the potential. That's the blueprint that needs to be followed. What really frustrates me, though, is predictability. When teams know you're going to throw deep every down, or when they know the left side of your line is weaker than the right, they adjust. The Chargers saw every play coming. They stacked the box, took away the deep ball, and forced the Raiders into uncomfortable situations. And it worked. Every misstep compounded into a game that could have been competitive, but ended up being a disappointment. The defense kept the score respectable. They made plays, they held the line, they showed resilience. But the offense never gave them the chance to fully shine. And that's where the conversation turns to accountability. The Raiders need to trust their personnel, make better adjustments mid-game, and stop letting opportunities slip through their fingers. Looking ahead, the season isn't lost, but it's at a crossroads. Week 3 against the Commanders is going to be critical. It's not just about winning that game. It's about restoring confidence in the quarterback, in the running game, and in the coaching staff's ability to make the right calls. The Raiders have talent at every level. They have playmakers who can change the outcome of a game in a single play. But all of that talent is wasted if execution falters and trust in key players isn't there. Week 3 is going to tell us a lot about this team's identity. Are they going to be a team that folds under pressure, or are they going to adjust, fight, and show the kind of football Raider Nation deserves to see? It's a delicate balance between patience and urgency. You can't rush development, but you also can't ignore the glaring issues that are keeping this team from reaching its potential. Geno needs a clean pocket. Gentry needs room to run. The line needs cohesion and strength. Coaching adjustments need to be made. And fans? Well, you need to keep your faith in the players who have proven themselves, while holding the team accountable for the performances we've seen. The energy from Raider Nation has never been stronger, and the support at Allegiant Stadium shows that this team has a foundation to build on. But support alone doesn't win games. Execution wins games. Discipline wins games. Trust wins games. And if the Raiders want to compete at the highest level, all of these elements have to come together. As the season unfolds, keep your eyes on the big picture. This isn't just about one game or one performance. It's about building a team that can sustain success, bounce back from adversity, and make the playoffs. The Chargers game was a lesson, a brutal, eye-opening lesson, but it's also a chance to learn, to adjust, and to prove that this team is capable of more than what we saw on the scoreboard. Every snap, every play, every decision matters. Week 3 will be the first real measuring stick of whether the Raiders can take that next step or if they're going to continue to struggle under pressure. And here's the reality. This team has everything it needs to be competitive. It's not a lack of talent. It's a lack of alignment, of execution, of trust, and of consistency. The pieces are there, but they need to be put together in a way that maximizes the potential of players like Geno Smith, Ashton Gentry, and the rest of the offense. When that happens, when the right calls are made and the right adjustments are executed, this team can be dangerous. Until then, it's about watching, analyzing, and hoping that the lessons from the Chargers game translate into smarter, more efficient football in the games ahead. Raider Nation is ready, Allegiant Stadium is ready, and now the team has to be ready to show what they're made of. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is buzzing with whispers that could shake the league to its core. The Las Vegas Raiders are reportedly closing in on a deal to bring superstar running back Christian McCaffrey to Sin City. Sources close to the team suggest this isn't just a standard acquisition. It could be a strategic masterstroke that transforms the Raiders' offensive identity into something truly unpredictable. Known for his dual-threat capabilities as both a runner and a receiver, McCaffrey could immediately become the centerpiece of a high-octane attack that keeps defenses guessing on every snap. Insiders hint that McCaffrey's versatility is precisely what drew Raiders management's attention. Imagine a backfield where every handoff is a potential home run and every check down could turn into a breakaway reception. Rumors suggest the coaching staff has been secretly designing plays specifically to maximize McCaffrey's unique skill set. There's even talk of him lining up in the slot or split out wide, making him essentially a Swiss Army knife on the field. Fans are already daydreaming about the highlight reels. McCaffrey slicing through defenders on the ground one play, then catching a screen pass and turning it into a long touchdown the next. Of course, details remain murky. Contract terms, trade conditions, and the exact timeline for McCaffrey's arrival are still under wraps, fueling endless speculation on sports talk shows and social media platforms. Some insiders suggest the move could be part of a broader strategy to revamp the Raiders' offense after a roller coaster season. Others speculate it could be a high-stakes gamble that signals the franchise is ready to contend immediately, leveraging McCaffrey's elite talent to energize both the locker room and the fan base. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the mere suggestion of McCaffrey donning silver and black has sent a ripple of excitement across the NFL. Analysts are already debating how his presence could alter the dynamics of the AFC West and whether rival defenses are prepared for such a multidimensional threat. If the rumor proves true, the Raiders wouldn't just be adding a star. They'd be signaling a bold, aggressive vision for the future, one that could redefine what it means to be a modern NFL offense. The city of Las Vegas may soon witness a new era, and all eyes will be on Christian McCaffrey as he potentially becomes the ultimate game changer in silver and black. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.